Hi guys, I'm Lauren Terry from brightsonwhite.com. I'm bringing you a quilting class on how to make the homespun medallion quilt. This quilt has 5 different kinds of blocks. So before you get started, you're going to want to print off this cut list. And then what I do to stay organized as I'm cutting, we want to keep all the fabric for each block separate. So I just use paper plates, really simple, and I write the type of block right here on the top. And then as I cut something, I'll mark it off of my list and I'll just make sure that it stays started. Also, you'll want to draw diagonal lines. You can see on a lot of my pieces here, I've drawn little diagonal lines. And any of the bolded squares are the ones that you're going to draw the diagonal lines on. All right? And then before you get started, just some things that'll make it a lot nicer, you don't need, but is a water-soluble pen. That'll really help you out. If you have any kind of a flying geese, you can't even see that. If you have a flying geese ruler, I'm going to be using that. And then I'm also using the Quilt in a Day ruler that we're going to use to square up all of our half square triangles and some of our hourglass blocks. So if you have those will help you out, but if you don't, you can always just square it up whatever way you typically do at home. And a couple other things that might be really nice to have as you're getting started is a 6.5 inch ruler. We're going to be squaring up a lot of things to 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And then also one of these little twisty cutting pads. It took me a long time to get myself one of these, and once I did, I was just super happy. So you know, if you need an excuse to buy yourself another quilting thing, now you have one. But if you don't have one of these rulers or one of these mats, I'm just going to show you some other options. So this is just a piece of cereal box that I cut out. It's 6.5 by 6.5 inches. And that way, if you are squaring something up to 6.5 inches, I've just drawn a line. I measured over 3¼ inches, drew a line. Then I turned it, measured over 3¼ drew a line. So what you do is just line these up with the middle seams at each of these points, and then you could square this up. The disadvantage to using cardboard is that if your rotary cutter snags the cardboard, it will dull it, obviously. But so that's one option. And then if you just have a normal cutting mat, let me show you how you do that. So here's my piece, and what I'm going to do is go over 3¼ inches, so 1, 2, 3¼ and I'm going to take that line and match it up with my center seam, and then I'm going to trim this piece, and then I'd rotate that again, 3¼ inches, let's see, there it is, and I'd trim off that. And so then you just have to rotate it 4 times to trim it that way. So whichever way works best for you, but squaring up is going to be a big part of this, and